I had originally recorded this video, but TikTok was like, you don't have enough storage. We're going to delete it.
Okay, so anyway, I was saying that I get what you mean because there's so many ways we use LOL, but we're like the first generation to just like use LOL as an acronym for laugh out loud. But we're not always laughing out loud. Sometimes I could be looking like this. But it's a lightheartedness right here, right? And I need people to understand, like, I'm not angry. Because some people can read a text message and just assume that you're mad, that you're sad, that you're too assertive. And maybe that's a little self consciousness, right? Because we're just anticipating someone assuming something that's not true because they don't see you face to face. Because we're usually using LOL, even though people sometimes say LOL in person, we're usually using LOL in person, okay? I mean, in a text message. So we need people to understand, like, hey, we're not mad. We're not angry. And sometimes we have used LOL at times that you didn't need to put LOL. Like maybe we had an argument with our boyfriend and we're trying to express ourselves like this. We got a whole little paragraph for them and we need them to know like, hey, I'm not being rude, but or I'm not mad at you. I just want to talk. I know I was guilty of that back in the day. And but that was, and this is what I was saying in my last video before it got deleted. I said, but our generation recognizes that I feel like we're introspective enough to know that people can assume, people can presume things that aren't true, and then that we're kind of assuming that people are going to say that we're being too this or too that. And it's a nervousness about it. It's a self-consciousness about it because we've heard we have seen where people said you were this or that way and we're like we weren't even, I wasn't even. And so we have a little bit of a shock factor that people are really taking things that we're being expressive about and then thinking that we're being too emotional. But I said, but that's where therapy came in. That's where introspective came in. Introspection came in. I said, our generation really was a generation that said, you know what, we're going to go to therapy. We're going to try to resolve our problems because why are we like this mentally? And why does this hurt so bad? And why do I feel this and that? We started talking openly. We were communicating our feelings and expressing our feelings. We were vlogging. We were blogging. We were doing all these things. And it's not that other generations haven't done that, but we were like the first generation to come into age with, AOL and text messaging. You know what I'm saying? And so we use LOL in so many different ways. And it's just because we have used every form of different communications to express ourselves. Like with text messaging, we were using, and before emojis came out, which was like, oh yeah, we get to express ourselves with faces, even though we used to get to do that on the computer with like AOL and whatever, we could do it through little emoticons and stuff like that. But we used to just use semicolon with the parentheses or with a D or with however else we made up stuff with the semicolon to make a winky face. We were that generation that did that stuff. And it just kind of carried on. We're a very nostalgic generation. We're very unique. And LOL is just used in different ways. And we could really be laughing out loud. We could really be serious, but it's the lightheartedness to it. We are very, I wouldn't say we're unserious, but we don't take ourselves too serious. You know what I'm saying? Like we take life serious in the sense of like we have value, but we're not just so bent up and out of shape like we felt like other generations like were. We're trying to do better. Like we're trying to, we have, a lot of us have broken curses. A lot of us have said, we're not going to do that. Our parents were a little bit too harsh, a little bit too harmful, or maybe they did stuff too soon. Like they could have like talked to us, communicated with us about how they felt in a more effective way so that we can get it instead of just immediately lashing out or just saying you're getting a whooping now or we're taking away the games and the cell phones and we're putting you on punishment. You can't go to your friend's house. Like to me, those are like things that we would probably do on the back end. That's like last resort kind of things. First, we're going to communicate. If you keep doing the thing, you're going to have to deal with the consequences now. And some stuff we're just like, you know what? I don't even care. Be a kid. But we're a generation that had a lot of discipline on us, and it was from everybody else. Like Gen X and up were very serious people to me. Gen X, boomers, silent generation, very serious people. You could not play with them. Okay? They were very serious. And then our generation just became these like silly, goofy, like, let's do cartwheels, and let's still do cartwheels in 2000 and 2025. It doesn't matter how old we are. But anyways, it's just about lightheartedness. And yes, I can get how you can perceive that we're being nervous or lacking confidence, because sometimes that's what it is. But in most cases, it's like we're just being lighthearted.